Happy Devils Wednesday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report. The Morning Woo Edition, episode 327, titled Devils in 7. That's right, Devils in 7. I'm your host, Sam Woo. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios here in beautiful New Jersey, in an undisclosed location, as the Devils got shellacked last night by the Carolina Hurricanes. And people like Cornhole says, the season's over. How are the Devils going to do this? Carolina is so good. 3 games in a row. Are you serious? There's no way that they can do that. I say, balderdash, malarkey. Of course that they can come back and win in 7. And I figured it out last night, and I figured it out this morning. I was thinking of the scenario, how that's going to happen, how the New Jersey Devils are going to actually pull off a stunning comeback from behind from the comeback kids, down 3-1 in the series. How are you going to beat the Carolina Hurricanes and Rod Brind'Amour's team? A well-coached team, well-prepared team. And I'll tell you how right now. It would take a perfect storm, I'll admit. It will take lots of things that happen. But I think that it can happen. And here is the path to beating the Carolina Hurricanes in the next 3 games. Number one, for those fans, and I'm not being critical here, it's just a lot of fans are like, series is over. Series is over. There's no way we can come from behind. Well, that's the same attitude that the Devils had last night when they suddenly went down 2-1, then 3-1, maybe 4-1. That they try to do too much and try to win the series off of one play instead of just being patient and letting it happen in front of them. The ESPN announcers were right in that regard. They were just doing too much too soon. And I think it was Ray Ferraro made the point that that is the difference between an experienced team like the Carolina Hurricanes than the New Jersey Devils. And I think there's some substance to that. I really do. But how are the Devils going to win in 7? Well, last night, if you heard the press conference, and I'm going to quote Lindy Ruff here, Lindy was not too pleased with their performance, obviously. But it was the way they lost that he was not happy about. Remember, this team overall hates losing more than they love winning. And trying to get to the quotes right now on my phone as it's stalled. But the headline on ESPN.com, hard one to explain, Ruff baffled by Devils' effort. Ruff baffled by Devils' effort. Lindy went on to say that that's a hard one to explain. That's about as poorly we've skated and supported the puck in any game this year. We had guys that just went rogue. You can't call that lack of experience. Even the power play turned into a one-man trying to do something and the next guy trying to do something. There was no team effort. We weren't good. I look at the way we played after Game 7, and it resembles some of this. Are we having a tough time dealing with a little bit of success? Play a really good game and then bounce back with a game like that? Playoffs are hard. We didn't make it to a high level to win a hockey game tonight. I would expect Game 5 that the New Jersey Devils will, like they have all season long after a bad loss, that they will respond in a forceful way for Game 5 in Carolina. Game 5 is the key to all this. I know it's obvious that you've got to win every game, but the Devils' mindset should be one shift at a time. And I believe the veterans on this team, and Lindy Ruff, pointed that out. I believe that the Devils will come back Game 5 in a much forceful manner. That they've got blown out 3 out of 4 games. Carolina has scored 4 goals or more in each of these games. That a statement game is in the works for the New Jersey Devils tomorrow in Raleigh. I would expect the Devils to give 130% at the very least to try to force a Game 6. Carolina, it's in their best interest to close out the series in Carolina. Because if they don't, Carolina may be in trouble. And here's why. If the Devils come out Game 5 and not have that repeat performance of Game 4, and you know this young team responds, and they can pull off a win, if they can steal a win Game 5 in Carolina Thursday, Game 6 at the Rock, you know that the fans, the New Jersey Devils fans, will be fired up, amped up at the Rock Saturday night, assuming that's the time, Saturday night at the Rock for Game 6. But the Devils need to get that Game 5. And I believe that Ruff basically said the effort wasn't there. And I think maybe this young team may have panicked a little bit when Carolina was just, it was a storm surge of sorts, 6 unanswered goals. And I don't care about statistics, what happened, because we saw this in the Rangers series, that the Devils had a slow start to it, but they managed to come back. So think of this scenario. If the Devils come out, and that's a big if, Game 5, ready to play, gas all the way down on the pedal. Just remember, the Canes don't have much depth. And in a 7-game series, and I said this earlier, that the series may be won in the later games, 5, 6, and Game 7. That the Devils are a young team. They've got the legs. Could they possibly force a Game 6? I believe the Devils will win Game 6 at that point. How can you not? When you bring the momentum back to the Rock after that debacle showing last night, Game 4, I think the players have a lot of pride to show the fans, hey, that wasn't the real New Jersey Devils you saw. We're going to put on a show. And then, in that scenario, if the Devils win Game 6, Game 7, anything can happen. All bets are off. The momentum would be in New Jersey's favor at that point. That's the only path and way I think the Devils have a chance to come back in this series, but they must not look too far ahead. Concentrate on one period, one shift at a time, and they must pay the price. Their hockey grit, their beefalytics, whatever you want to call it, they need to drive hard to the net. They did that in the beginning of the game. They were buzzing, and then they got away from it because they went from a team effort to an individual effort. Breakouts, I mean, once Carolina put on the heavy forecheck, the Devils couldn't even break out. It was a disruptive defense. It was very disruptive, the Carolina forecheck. And the Devils are going to have to figure that one out. They got to get quicker. They got to use their support. They got to get support. And the strategies, I know a lot of Devils fans, and I mean, I'm one of them that, Schmidt, in my mind, Schmidt should have started. But I think right now, we can't be too pessimistic. I know winning 3 games in a row is tough. And I did say that, Mark. The game 4 was crucial, and the winner would win the series. But I still believe there's still a path there. But there's no room for error for the New Jersey Devils. I mean, it could be something of not their fault where a puck bounces the wrong way in Game 5, or the referees call a phantom call, which leads to a power play goal, which happens to be the game winner for Carolina. The Devils need to focus and just continue to pay the price by going hard to the net through Carolina's defense. They are thin. They don't have the depth. And I think the Devils should play with an attitude where they want it more. The chippiness, they need to play with some snarl and try to get inside the head of the Carolina goaltender. But it's going to be tough. A Rod Brind'Amour team is a tough team because they are so well prepared. So well prepared. But they got to win Game 5. They got to come out from start to finish and play a perfect game in Carolina. They have to withstand the first period because the Carolina Hurricanes fans smell blood, and it's going to be a ruckus atmosphere in Raleigh. But this team has proven time and time again, when they played at Madison Square Garden, they weren't fazed by it. And this is Palat's time to shine. Eric Holla, the veteran leadership. Where has Jesper Bratt been? Timo Meier starting to get on the score sheet. Timo Meier kind of gets a pass after the injury he took, an unnecessary injury by Jacob Trouba because he was just mad that his team sucked and he couldn't get into the second round and had to take it out on Timo Meier. But the Devils can do it. And I think they have a chance of doing it. Now, if they win Game 5, that's going to be huge for the franchise. Remember what I said earlier about a month ago, that the more playoff games the Devils play, the better off long-term in the long game for the franchise called the New Jersey Devils. But I think the Devils need to take Carolina's game and give them some of their own medicine and keep up with the relentless pressure. Put the puck on net. They are still overpassing, overthinking. Just put the puck on net, and good things will happen. You will have your opportunities when they come. But if you're going to chase around and try to do it yourself, you're dead in the water. Want to thank all those tuning in here on the Morning Woo. It was tough to get up this morning. Now, I put up the audio version on our podcast pages, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Prime, iHeart app, Audible, of Game Day Live with Chico Resch. Apologize for the technical difficulties up on the stage. Again, it did not arise till once we went on live air. So I do have a cleaner version of the interview with Randy McKay and Chico Resch on our audio platforms, our podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast as well. Spent about an hour in the middle of the night editing that clip. So it's Audible. It was a great interview with both Chico and Randy McKay. Highly encourage you to listen. Also, I'll look at the video feeds as well and do the edits as well with the video feeds. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll put out a cleaner version of that than the live stream version. I know a lot of fans were complaining about the lag time and the difference, but basically we were just doing, just like the Devils, an individual doing too much too soon with the podcast, and I will say that the audio version is very crystal clear and enjoyable interview. Also, Devils After Dark, Randy McKay stopping by, waiting for his Uber ride, kind enough to come on to Devils After Dark with Scotty and I. Can't thank Randy McKay enough. Safe trip home back to the Upper Peninsula. I think, that's what we do. And I hope that there is a Game 6. Because it's a Saturday night at The Rock, and the big stage will be out again. Let's start looking for guests, but problem is, I don't want to jinx it. Why? Because the Devils need to win Game 5. So the Devils go back South Jersey. South Jersey into Raleigh. Hopefully they can wear them down. Hopefully Palat's the real deal and figures it out and wills himself and the Devils to win that game. Give me a Game 6, and I'll give you a Game 7 where anything can happen. Is this optimism, false hope? Is this fool's gold? Or am I out of my mind? You have to believe. The series is far from over. But it's going to be tough because the Carolina Hurricanes smell blood. And you're going to have to earn this Game 5. And you've got a pissed off Lindy Ruff that's going to make sure that every player on Thursday is going to show up and make a statement. How about a blowout in Raleigh? That's what I say. Because you bring it back for a Game 6, it will be a tight game. But you've got the advantage of the New Jersey Devils crowd, who have been great during the postseason. And we'll definitely have the big stage out for Game 6 if necessary. So keep the hope. Hello, Ted. Ted, again, at the bar. Last night I had American whiskey with me. But, yeah. Going to hit the music right now. I want to thank all those tuning in on the podcast, on the Morning Woo, on the Woo Report. I don't know. Can they do it? Let us know on Twitter, at Let's Get Olds Pod. On Facebook, at Let's Get Olds Podcast. and on our YouTube channel, Let's Go Devils. Oh, by the way, we gave away free pizzas, courtesy of Molnar Roofing in North Brunswick, New Jersey. Molnar Roofing bought 8 pizzas and gave out free slices to those Devils fans that just love pizza from American Whiskey. It was an excellent day. We're giving away free pizzas right now. How many other podcasts does that? I know, we're crazy, but that's what makes us Devils fans. I'll see you later. State of the Fan address tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Hello, Smiley Mile Ray. Says, I love this podcast. Thank you very much. Just remember to subscribe to our podcast on the YouTube Live. Just hit that subscribe. Set the alerts. The Morning Woo. That's right. Rate, review, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. All right, getting out of here, promise. This is the Morning Woo on the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.